Okay, so I'm going to be doing things a bit differently when it comes to the Pokemon Sun and Moon exclusive moves for the 7th generation. That for the other videos are just kind of like walls of text. We got to look at all the new moves and get some reaction. We also saw some old Pokemon that get new moves, and it's mostly just boring stuff. We have this wall of text right here. I went and searched through everything. So for Accelrock, I was like, yo, what about Aerodactyl? What about these awesome rock Pokemon that could get, you know, a priority rock move? That would change the game, but no, Exeggutor isn't a move, and it's just Lycanrock. Yeah, I feel like Aerodactyl not getting it is one of like the biggest travesties of Pokemon Sun and Moon, but there we go. And now I'm also going to be mixing in a couple of other things. We can look at the list of all the new Pokemon and be like, okay, so X Pokemon gets X move. There we go. We got some fun stuff right there. However, if you don't want to engage in the discussion, if you don't want to watch this video, there's a picture. You know, go tweet out this video, share it with all your friends. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff right there, because this did take a bit of time to do work, but go and post that, credit me, do whatever. That's kind of like your quick access, you know, you don't have to watch the whole video to understand which Pokemon goes where. And I'm not really going to go and list this off because that'd be pretty boring for the video as well. I'd be like, Anchor Shot, Dhelmise, Baneful Bunker, Toxapex. What are these Pokemon? What is going on right here? We can add in a little bit of discussion. We can get like a preview of what these Pokemon are going to be capable of. So that's why I'm really excited. I mean, Anchor Shot, well, there's only one Anchor Pokemon, I'm pretty sure. Also, I kind of have this screen region a little screwed up. Trying to fit everything in one is kind of hard. But yeah, so that's Dhelmise apparently. And that's, what was that Pokemon called? Toxapex. So yeah, interestingly enough, that little guy was like teased on the Pokemon Sun TCG box art, and then the whole data mine came through. So we know this guy and his evolution right now get some exclusive moves. That's actually pretty cool. And then now what we can do is hop over here, and since I already talked about these new moves in a recent video, that's why you can just, you know, do all this for yourself, or you can listen to me ramble on once again, because when I went through the moves, I didn't look up which Pokemon were for the moves. So Baneful Bunker, I was like, yo, we got an Aegis Slash King Shield kind of deal, except it poisons instead. What kind of Pokemon are going to get it? Well, just 7th generation, and just that one Pokemon. However, I'm not really here to, also let me go and look up Bunker. See, more searching, it just never ends. I'm not going to do like a how to use guide or go like super in depth on the moveset, but holy crap. Look at those stats, 152 defense, 142 special defense, 50 on the hit points. And you guys think Rotom's tanky. Rotom has like 40 less defenses and special defense on average, or if you average it out, you know, roughly it's a lot of a difference. It's like 45 and then 30 something or whatever. So Rotom has nothing on this Pokemon when it comes to tankiness. And it gets recover. Okay, now, yeah, this is why I can't do a how to use just yet, or else I'm going to be losing my mind. And we get to talk about Strength Sap again. So that's going to be a fun one. Man, I could actually, how bad does the webcam, I imagine that the face cam looks pretty terrible right now because I'm not set up for it. Oh, yeah, the green screen lighting's all bad. I'm just in my bathrobe chilling right now. But I'm losing my mind, guys. This is getting unreal right now, so we can go and put that crap away. I'm also getting really lax with these kinds of videos because we're not in Super Pokemon Sun and Moon territory yet, but we are still having some fun. So let's go back into the list right here, and I have it on Notepad, or I can also go check this out. So Toucannon with the Beak Blast. I remember talking about Beak Blast. I'm like, yeah, if the opponent attacks you while you're setting up, they get burned, and you do 100 damage base power move to them. That's pretty crazy. Toucannon also gets Rock Blast, or is it Cannon, or whatever it's called. I don't even, there's so many new things to memorize, and that I'm gonna be a wreck for a while as I just try to absorb it all. But yeah, we have Toucannon. It gets the Rock Blast and Beak Blast. That's kind of ridiculous. So that's actually like some of the cool things that we're dealing with the new Pokemon. So that is going to be the Pick-a-Peck evolutionary line getting the Beak Blast, and that's it. Clanging Scales, that's going to be Kommo-o, and I think Heatmor also gets it. So mostly exclusives and evolutionary lines or to the generation stuff. Cornforcer, Zygarde, pretty simple. Darkest Lariat. We also have Soul Shackle and the Water Aria. Sparkling Aria with the Primarina, so stuff like that. But then we can get some interesting ones. We already know Dragon Hammer, that is an exclusive with Alolan Exeggutor, and we kind of have some reverse exclusives. Now I did talk about this in the last video, but I looked at Fire Lash and it's like, you deal damage and they lose defense. How is that even fair? Well, it's fair when you put it on a Pokemon like Heatmor. So we have some other ones like that. Interestingly enough, you know, we do have these moves like Power Trip. No 7th-gen Pokemon get Power Trip, and also Toxic Thread is going to be Spinarak's evolutionary line only for those exclusive moves. And as we go more and more down the list, we get First Impression. Only works first turn the user's in battle +2 priority. I'm thinking, yo, this is great for like bug coverage and stuff like that. It's like a fake out that doesn't flinch but does more damage, and it just happens and it's a +2 priority. Well, this goes on to Wimpod's evolution, and Wimpod's evolution effectively keeps Wimp out, but it just sounds cooler. It's like emergency exit or something. So you come in, you make a first impression, and then you bounce out. And then you come in, and you make a first impression, and then you try not to get KO'd from there because you only drop below half once, unless you have a Citrus Berry. Man, if you could get 3 first impressions in a battle, that'd be pretty sick. I want to see that on Fan Fridays. But yeah, there's a first impression, boom, something like that. Golisopod, low speed, high attack, high defense. It's like a tank, but it has that first impression, so it makes up for it on that first turn with a 125. It's kind of a filthy Pokemon right there. So first impression, something interesting. Fleur Cannon, already talked about this. We know Magearna gets that. Floral Healing, Comfey, Hagenix, only Floral Healing Pokemon. Another tragedy is that Florges does not get Floral Healing. All these flower Pokemon that exist do not get it as well. Gear Up isn't necessarily exclusive, so that's at least something. And then we keep going down. Ice Hammer. Ice Hammer's the big one. I was like, alright, Ice Hammer, this is going to be great. I wonder what Pokemon's going to get. Oh, it's Crabominable. Oh, that's only one. So, yep, the random crab brawler, Yeti, crab, snowman thing BS that we got, it's the only one that gets Ice Hammer. And I would have liked to see that. But fortunately, it has no speed and a solid attack. So, it tanks the hit, uses Ice Hammer. And that's kind of what we're getting out of it. Fighting Ice, though, I do not trust that typing for a second. That thing seems like it's going to have like a bajillion weaknesses. Wait. Didn't I say in my video there couldn't be a Fighting Ice Pokemon? Like in my top 10 or top 5 types there won't be, and top 5 types there will be? Game Freak, they've done it again. Okay, so what else we got? So yeah, there's Crabrawler right there, or Crabominable, whatever pun that's turning into. There's Toucannon, all kinds of fun Pokemon like that. So it's crazy. We had 60 officially revealed Pokemon, and of the list right here, there's not really too many left to go. So it's not like a huge surprise. That's something else for another video. I'm going to be doing like the buffs and nerfs, and Destiny Bond wasn't actually tracked as a nerf, but it has been nerfed, which is really interesting to talk about. Leafage, I guess, is the next one. We already know about Instruct on the Oranguru. Let me go pull this up. So we are at Ice Hammer, Instruct, Leafage. Leafage has various 7th generation Pokemon that get it. Pretty much just like intro grass Pokemon. So the first evolutions of Lurantis and a few other grass Pokemon, not just Rowlet, will get access to that to kind of make your adventure interesting compared to like just kind of slapping Razor Leaf on everything or something like that. Moongeist Beam, Lunala, Multi-Attack, Silvally, Nature's Madness, and all the Tapu Pokemon. We know about this. But then Pollen Puff. That's another weird one. It's like, hello, Jumpluff says hi. Did you forget about Jumpluff? Because it's a Pollen Puff Pokemon, so why doesn't it Pollen Puff? It would be really cool. But Ribombee gets the Pollen Puff. What it does is you can either attack your opponent for a 90 base power move, Bug Special, which is pretty good, and Ribombee does get that Quiver Dance like I called it. When I first saw Cutiefly, I'm like, its evolution is going to get Quiver Dance, and it's going to be absolutely sick. But you can actually heal your opponent for the amount of damage that you would have done with the Pollen Puff instead. So that's something to consider. We talked about Power Trip, and then Prismatic Laser. That is one of those Ultra Beast kind of things going on. So the Ultra Beasts have, one of them has the exclusive move. I don't know which is which on the Ultra Beast names. They're harder to piece together. Interestingly enough, I looked at Purify. I saw Purify, I'm like, man, Purify is going to be broken, but only Pyukumuku gets it. I'm still trying to figure out, like, how Purify works, It says user heals target status condition. If successful, user also heals its hit points. Does that mean user heals its own hit points, or the user heals the target? We'll have to see how that applies in the game. Probably someone already knows since the game has been like streamed and leaked to oblivion, but just going off of like those little things. Revelation Dance, we know that is going to be the Oricorio. Shadow Bone, I actually couldn't really find out which Pokemon gets Shadow Bone. It's like a ghost, I guess, for the Shadow, and then it wields a bone or something. Tough call right there. Shell Trap, we know that's Turtonator. Shore Up, so Shore Up was another one. I'm like, yo, Shore Up, it heals, and then it heals more in sand. That's actually a pretty ridiculous move. Sounds like Palisand but maybe another Pokemon will get shore up. And nope, it's just Sandygast and Palosand. So we don't have like any others crazy Sandstorm. It pretty much just means if you're running a Sandstorm team, you can kind of tech in the Palosand and you might get some extra out of it. Could work for Water Compaction, but if it was a Rock type, then it would get a special defense boost in the Sandstorm and that'd be even tankier and absolutely ridiculous. And then Water Compaction, you know, you need to survive a Scald for Water Compaction to work. So you have a special defense boost, you're gaining defense boost, and then you heal like mad. That would have been cool for the Sandygast, but I guess the theme doesn't really make sense, and possessed rocks don't really make sense either. So not really too much to talk about right there. As we get more towards the end of this list, we can see Solar Blade, that's Lurantis. No other Pokemon gets it, which is weird. Like, so many Pokemon get Solar Beam that you expect maybe Solar Blade to carry over. Sparkling Aria, that's Primarina. Spectral Thief, Marshadow. Spectral Thief is busted, but since it's going to be that legendary thing, we might not see it too much. Strength Sap on the Shiinotic. So I'm still like, oh wait, it's not Shiinotic. It's like Shiitake. So Shiinotic. I think you need to stress it harder on that I right there. So yeah, there's the Shiinotic, and it gets one of the most insane moves I've ever heard about. User restores hit points by the amount of the target's attack, lowers the target's attack by 1 after. That must have been a really late night, or someone was being a little cynical at the Game Freak office that day. And when you look at it, again, not trying to go crazy on how to use, but I mean, 60 base hit points, 100 special offense, you can make that work. It's not as crazy as Florges. Like, Florges has mad special defense and a solid hit point pool. So it's not going to be the tankiest Pokemon, but it gets Rain Dish, gets Effect Spore, and then it gets that move. And I mean, if you play into it, that just seems like the most ultimate of filth. It is Grass Fairy, so Poison will wreck this Pokemon's day. Does still have a respectable amount of weakness, so that might be like a big stop for it. But I mean, that is one of the scariest moves I've ever seen. Like, that might actually be it, like, not counting the Pokemon that it comes with. Like, if you just think about the most straight up raw busted moves in the game, I don't think it gets any more broken than that, except for maybe Old Dark Void or Spore. That's nerf. Oh, by the way, it gets Spore as well. So you Spore, then you sap them, and then it doesn't matter. It's like, GG. Just G to the extra G right there, and then we can go and check out some other things. Sunsteel Strike, so Galio, Toxic Thread, Spinarak only. So not 7th gen exclusive, but pre-other just one Pokemon exclusive. Trop Kick, that's going to be the Sarina, and then Zing Zap is Togedemaru. So weirdly enough, we just see like Togedemaru just kind of get thrown in. It's like, all right, there's a Pikachu clone, but actually getting a little bit extra love right there. All the stats, not fantastic, unfortunately, but does get Zing Zap, has a chance to flinch, and that means if you outspeed on that 96 base speed, you might make it work out for yourself. So definitely not a speed creep going on with Pokemon Sun and Moon. I'll have to go and talk about stats and movesets and how to use and all that when the game actually comes out. Right now, we are going to be looking at some raw data, and I think it turned out pretty well. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.